Alright, here I got this early 90s Lasko desk fan, model 3151. Very recent find. This thing was inside a trash bag along with some other stuff in there. I think it was some kitchen appliances or something. I'm not really sure, but when I was trying to get it out, apparently the person who tied that bag was really good because I definitely struggled a lot until somebody saw me. And I think that was the owner who had the fan. And I asked him about it, and pretty much helped me out, and I was on my way. So there were some issues with the fan. For starters, the gearbox it was broken, so that needed some work. The blades were a bit warped, so I had to manipulate the shape, and then the front grill was missing, so I was not exactly sure what the brand would have been on this. This might have been a Crossley or Galaxy branded one, or an Ambassador, who knows. So pretty much I got this badge for it. Obviously, it's an Air King badge. That centerpiece came from the 2154. And the grills it has are pretty much a spare that I had on hand. Um, Now, about the blade set alone, this one is essentially the round blade, just like that 70s Lasko in the background. Except that this one has the leading edge cut down, as you can see here. It's more of a, it's curved in, and I'm not really sure what the point of it is, but I'm assuming it's to reduce cost. But as you can see, they're almost similar in shape from the trailing edge. But anyhow, um, it's almost a decent condition, but there are some parts that are a big yellow. For starters, of course, the neck bracket somehow suffered the most yellowing, just like that other one. Then there's the oscillator knob, and of course the guard nut. This one came from the another Lasko fan, so that one doesn't count. Um, this one, the original one, is not that bad, but it somehow cracked open. But also the off switch is like that. But for some whatever reason, the rest of the fan is absolutely pearl white. Nothing is deteriorating whatsoever. So that's kind of weird, but at the same time, this is when Lasko is using different plastics for their bases. The ones like on this one used to be kind of similar to what they were using for the blades. Um, but anyhow, enough to talk. It's time to see its performance. So let's start with high. And it starts up nice and quick. And performance is absolutely flawless, as most of these are made to be. Just look at that. Toilet paper is going crazy already. It is vibrating a bit, uh, but I'm not really sure how that is, because I definitely tried to balance the blade as best as I could, but I mean, at least it's not as disruptive as that wall fan from the mid 2000s, which had the which blades not even weight that much, but it was just ridiculously out of balance. There is medium. This is pretty much very powerful. This is just, it's exceptionally very good performance, and it just comes to show that even though it's not something like that fan in the background, it definitely does perform like the ones that made in the 70s, despite being made of cheaper materials at the time. because the low speed, it's a bit fast. This fan kind of runs like a high velocity, despite the blade being a steeper pitch. Because the that other 3151 in blue, the low speed is it's insanely quiet. It's almost inaudible compared to this one. All right, now to show you the oscillation function. And as usual, it functions absolutely well. Now that it has been repaired. The airflow performance is definitely insanely good. Back to medium. You know, it was during this time, I guess, that Lasko was going for a different look. Because later on in the mid 90s, these fans would become commercial grade somehow. And they do have the look for it. But back then, it was meant to be more to make the house look more very elegant. Here's back to high. And I could just feel a lot of airflow being maneuvered around the room here. Just comes to show how good these ones are. Alright. Gotta shut it off. And now that the bearings have been lubricated, it's going to take a while for it to coast down. But as you can see, absolutely flawless performance right there. So there you have it. That's the Lasko 16-inch oscillating dust fan model 3151 from the early 90s.